Hey everyone, it's me, your friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete, and this is my movie series, Nails in a Coffin. It's October, my favorite time of year, all the new and old horror movies that we all get to watch. I love it. Well, I'm sure you can see in the title, this movie is on Child's Play, and in all my videos so far, you can see I got a big soft spot for the Chuckster, since I got two of them always sitting right behind me watching over me. This movie came out in 1988. It was written by Don Mancini and Tom Holland and directed by Tom Holland, who also directed Fright Night. Chris Sarandon, who was the main vampire in Fright Night, stars in this movie as Detective Mike Norris. It's got Catherine Hicks, another fantastic actress, and of course, Brad Dourif as Charles Lee Ray and the voice of Chucky. And if you didn't know, Charles Lee Ray was actually named after Charlie Sheen, David Lee Roth, and Ray Liotta. So, let's get to the kills and see what nailing we can do. The first kill happens right around 21 minutes into the movie, and it's Babysitter Maggie. She's babysitting Andy, who's got his new doll, Chucky, with him. She's noticing some weird things in the house. She's walking around, noticing some things are kind of out of place, so she seems kind of a little creeped out. Well, all of a sudden, she turns around, a quick look of shock on her face. She gets hit in the head with a toy hammer and falls back a good 15, 20 feet, stumbling back, not only out the window, but she hits the window with such force, she clears the street and lands on a car in the street. So she cleared the sidewalk. So how do we rate this kill? I got to give her only one nail in the coffin, because I don't see how anybody can stumble back that far and with such force to leap backwards out of a window that you clear the sidewalk and you land on a car. So there's not much. It's one of those silly kills in a movie. So Maggie is only going to get one nail in the coffin for her death. Now, no, I didn't count Charles Lee Ray's death in the beginning of the movie, because I don't consider him dead, since he put his soul into the doll and he's living on. So for Charles Lee Ray's demise in the beginning of the film, I'm not going to rate it, because I'm not considering him dead just yet. But our next kill happens at 35 minutes in, and it's Charles Lee Ray's former accomplice, Eddie. And in the beginning, when Detective Norris shoots Charles Lee Ray and he knows he's about to die, he vows to get revenge, and he does. So around 35 minutes in, Chucky makes Andy take him to Eddie's little hideout, which is pretty brave for a little kid on the streets of Chicago, all the way by himself, traveling with his doll to go find Eddie. So, and we see the point of view spot of Chucky running into Eddie's house, turning the gas on the stove, blowing out the pilot light. Eddie wakes up to some noise, and he's running around the house trying to figure out what's going on. Bursts open into the kitchen and shoots blindly into the kitchen, exploding the house. This is an easy one for me. Only one nail in the coffin for Eddie for doing something so stupid. Now, he didn't see Chucky when he kicked that door open, because if he did, Chucky would have got burnt up. So he didn't see Chucky or anything. He just shot blindly into a room, and it caused a big explosion, killing him. So for this dumb decision, Eddie is only going to get one nail in the coffin, deservedly so. At 59 minutes in, we've got our next death, and it's Dr. Death, the voodoo priest that taught Charles Lee Ray all about voodoo. Chucky's letting him know, hey, I got shot last night, and it hurt, and it bled. What do I need to do? Dr. Death doesn't want to tell him right away what he needs to do, but Chucky, out of nowhere, grabs Dr. Death's voodoo doll of himself. Why you would have a voodoo doll of your own self, and plus it have it in an area where a child can easily pick it up. Anyways, Chucky tortures him, breaks his arm and his leg, forcing Dr. Death, telling him what he needs to do to get out of the body of the doll. Dr. Death lets him know, hey, you got to transfer your soul into the first person you told your secret to. And we all know that is now Andy. After Chucky finds out what he has to do, he just takes a knife, says, Dr. Death, you have a date with death, and stabs the doll, thusly killing Dr. Death. I'm going to have to give Dr. Death 2 nails in a coffin, because why would you have a voodoo doll of yourself? And plus, he didn't do anything when he first saw Chucky holding the doll. He could have ran at him, kicked him, done something other than just stayed in there talking to him. So, Dr. Death's death is going to get 2 nails in the coffin. At 1 hour and 6 minutes in, we have our next death, and it's Dr. Ardmore. By this time in the film, Andy's in this child psychiatric hospital, and Chucky's going after him so he can put his soul into him. The doctor sees Andy. He's wrestling with him, trying to sedate Andy. Andy's fighting him off. Chucky's there, stabs the doctor in the leg with a scalpel. He falls down, and then you immediately see Chucky put his pretty much portable electric chair band on his head and run away. The doctor sees this. You see him look to the side as Chucky runs away. He knows what's on his head because he has it in his office, yet but he doesn't go take it off as right before Chucky turns on the switch. Again, I'm going to give you a 1 nail there, Dr. Ardmore. You're only going to get 1 nail in the coffin because, A, why would you have something that can be turned up all the way that you pretty much have an electric chair in a child psychiatric hospital? So that's one of the many reasons that he's only going to get 1 nail in the coffin. And he didn't do anything, like I said, after he put the band on his head. He could have taken it off. He could have done something. But Dr. Ardmore is only going to get 1 nail in the coffin for a few reasons. Not taking the band off and for having something so dangerous. So what is this thing actually used for? Is it used for electric shock treatments? And if so, why would you have something that has the capability of being an electric chair? So 1 nail in the coffin for Dr. Ardmore and his death. After this death, we find ourselves back in Andy's apartment. He's there, but unfortunately, Chucky is there also. After Chucky temporarily knocks out Andy with the bat, he starts doing the infamous incantation in an effort to put his soul into Andy's body.
Klaatu, Veranda.
It is broken up by Detective Norris and Andy's mom when they get to the apartment, and Chucky's final battle is about to start. Karen is fighting with Chucky, and she manages to get him in the fireplace. And she's holding him in there with the grate. She turns the gas on, trying to get one of the matches so she can set Chucky on fire. Andy steps up to the plate, has a nice little word for Chucky.
This is the end, friend.
And lights the match and throws it in there, setting Chucky on fire. But we all know this doesn't kill Chucky. He's later stalking Andy on fire in a very cool scene. Really great special effects, especially in the late 80s when this movie came out. Chucky's shot, he loses an arm, and then he loses his head. But again, Chucky is not dead. But Karen knows, because she talked to Dr. Death, there's only one way to actually kill Chucky, and that is to... And she finally does that, thusly killing Chucky, originally. But for this kill, since I'm going to consider Chucky dead, even though he is resurrected, for the second one, this is going to be my first one, I'm giving Chucky 4 nails in the coffin, because it took a lot to take him down. He was set on fire, he had his limbs blown off, he had his head blown off, and then he was finally shot through the heart, and thus dying. A real good ending for a villain. So for Chucky, I'm going to give him my first 4 nails in the coffin. So there we have it. A relatively short video, but then again, not a lot of deaths in this movie, but that will change as we cover the other Child's Play movies in the franchise, which I will cover because you can always see behind me, I'm a big fan. Plus I have to, otherwise he gets really mad. But Thank you for checking out this video. And if you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe. Takes just a second, but it does mean a lot to me. Keeps me motivated to keep making these videos because I'm having fun and hopefully entertaining you in the process. So thanks again, and we'll see you next time for Child's Play 2. And remember, with great kills, there must also come great nails.